Hey dojo friends, thanks so much for joining me today. I thought I would do a quick sword cleaning video for those of you who have asked questions about it lately. We do have a few other videos on sword cleaning, so I'll keep this one short. A lot of people ask about these traditional sword kits, which are kind of cool. They come in a beautiful wooden box, and they have the Uchiko ball here, they have the choji oils, they have the hammer, they have some Mikugi pins in here. This is a very traditional sword kit, and I don't use these very often. They are fun to use because, you know, if you want to do a little role playing and pretend, you know, and take an hour to clean a sword, of course you can do it this way. This was done for hundreds of years when they didn't have modern things available. But I am a big fan of being traditional by embracing the modern age. By that I mean I don't have to use these old things if I find that they're antiquated and in some cases detrimental to the sword itself. Now you have to ask, how much money have you invested in your sword? Is it a $45 sword you found at your local flea market? Is it one that you found on eBay for $70 and it's a basic stainless steel blade? Is it a 1060 steel, a T10 steel? Does it have an open grain? Is it an actual Nihon To from Japan? Is it a reproduction from China for $300 or $400? All of these things have different answers. If it's just a cheap stainless steel sword, you know, really cheap, you can use Windex and paper towel and a cheap oil and you won't have any issues. The basic thing is if you clean your sword, let me show you. Here's a basic short sword, good quality, handmade blade. Let me show you a secret. As long as you have a microfiber cloth like this and you wipe the sword of all the oil, dust, and humidity and all that junk, you will be okay. And you can use any type of mineral oil on these swords and they will be all right. Now I have well over 100 swords in my collection, some really expensive ones, as many as $4,000 or $5,000 per sword. This sword here, this wakizashi, which is a beautiful green wrapped sword here, handmade blade, beautiful hamon line. This is about a $300 sword. I'm just using a short sword here so it's easy for the camera to pick up on. Has a beautiful bohi fuller here. And it even has kind of a naginata style where they've shaved some of the metal off here. Again, just wiping it like this every week or two is going to keep it in good shape. If you go out and do cutting, tameshigiri, and you get plants on it, you get dirt on it, sap from trees, it's going to rust within hours. So be very careful with cutting in tameshigiri or going out in the woods like I always do. If you cut branches, bring along a cloth with you. After you cut, wipe the sword down before you put it back in the saya. Now, you can use an uchiko ball on this. You know, you can activate the powders inside by tapping, and you'll start to see powder appearing here. You know, and you want to feel like you're a cool anime character or something activating this. But I don't recommend Uchiko balls because I find that they're too abrasive. And this is all they had back then. And it doesn't distribute well along the blade. So I don't use Uchiko ball often. I find them obsolete. Here's what I use. Now there are several things that you can use instead of an Uchiko ball. I use Mag's Mother's Polish. This is a steel polish that is a modern invention with wonderful chemicals and things like that. This is for automotive or many household things. Now there are alternatives to this. This is a Mother's brand that I use and I've never had an issue with it, but listen carefully. I'm not saying that you should use this. You want to test it on your blade, on a cheaper blade, to see if it works or not. For me, it works. I have seen people use machine oil instead of this. I have seen people use what's called Renaissance wax, which is for medieval swords that works very well on Japanese swords. I have seen people use a product called Metal Glow which is a polishing paste that you can buy. Any type of light mineral oil with paraffin should work. I've even seen people store swords covered in Vaseline for long periods of time. And those of you who know and sell swords like I do, often these swords come in a grease, covered with grease if they're coming from China or even Japan, and they're just covered in stuff that you have to remove. So the modern version for me is to use a modern cleaner. Now, traditionalists out there were going to say, how dare you do that? You should do it in the old style. And for that I say humbug. A traditionalist uses modern things. To be traditional, I want to stick with the times. So what I'm doing is just wiping on this polish here. Very simple to do. Get a microfiber cloth and let the stuff do its job. I'm just covering it lightly, rubbing it in a little bit. Okay. And then there it is. It's covered in this white goop. And now I take the clean side and I just remove that polish. Sorry if I'm not in camera the whole time. It's hard to do this. I can already see it's much shinier than it was even just a couple of moments ago. So there, look how shiny that just became by using this one type of polish. And there are many brands out there that you can buy on Amazon. I don't want to insult the audience's intelligence by telling you where to go. Remember, ninjutsu is about research, intelligence gathering. So if you want to buy these products, go on Amazon, go on eBay, go on your search engine wherever you live, and look for the products, because that's going to teach us how to gather information rather than have someone on the internet spoon feed us information. You don't learn that way. You learn by researching. So look how beautiful that is. Now you can use here, this is the oil that came with it in this little container here. This is a basic choji oil. And choji oil is just mineral oil with a little bit of clove oil added for scent. That's all it is. It's a mineral oil. This works perfectly well on this sword. This is what came in the little cheap sword kit. These box kits are anywhere from $20 to $50 and some are more. You get what you pay for. Be careful. Go on to the reviews and read about these, because some of these are really cheaply made and the oil is not very good quality. You can buy a sword oil like I have here. This is a spray-on oil from Hanwei Company, and it's a basic sword oil specifically designed for blades. This is called Hanwei sword oil, and it's a spray-on oil. Here's another sword oil that I bought offline. I think I got it off of eBay or Amazon. I just typed in natural choji oil, and here's a brand that's 4 ounces. This stuff is cheap. It will last you years for a simple bottle, and I clean swords all the time. I have cleaned thousands of swords and never had any issues. So let's use this one. Now people say, should you put the oil on the blade or the cloth? It doesn't matter. Watch, I'm going to use paper towel, something that's available. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to take some of this choji oil, open it, and put it a little bit on the paper towel. Very simple. I think people want, and I'm wiping it on the blade. How hard is that? I think that people really get attached to the idea of it should be cool and mystical, and there should be incense flowing and chanting going on and mythical creatures flying around your head when you clean your swords. It isn't like that. It's just like cleaning a gun. Now I'm going to wipe off just a very light touch, taking off the excess here. So that has a thin layer of oil on it, and it's ready to be stored. This is easy. All easy stuff. So now we have this wakizashi ready to be stored in a nice dry area that doesn't have too much variant in temperature. This sword's for sale, by the way. If anyone wants to buy this, I think it's $250, something like that. It's a nice sword, I like it. Let's move on to another. Here's another sword. This sword you may recognize. Who recognizes this? Look at that. Where is this from? A lot of you are like, I know that sword. You should. This is the sword from Walking Dead. Those of you who like that HBO series Walking Dead, or it was AMC, one of those shows. Walking Dead, I used to watch all the time. I don't anymore, but I used to. This is the sword of the character Michonne. Remember? Michonne's sword character. She's a cool character in that series. Now, this is about a $200 sword. Probably mass manufactured. Not bad quality. Simple stainless steel blade. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a 1060, what it is. Has a leather white wrap. Dark same underneath it. Simple handguard for taking out zombies. Even has a symbol on here, as you can see, like 3 moons or something like that. No Hamon line. It's just a very simple sword, very sharp. But let's clean this one. So again, I'm going to use some of this Mother's here and taking a little bit on the fiber cloth, wiping it along here. This sword hasn't been cleaned in a week or 2. How often do you clean your swords? It depends. How often are you using it? Are you doing iaido every day? Tameshigiri? Does it just sit on your mantle and collect dust? Tells you how often you should clean it. At least once a month, but it depends on humidity. Do you live in Florida where it's humid? Do you live in Alaska where it might be drier? So as you can see, this sword is not a highly polished sword to begin with, but the dirt will come off. So I'm wiping this down, and let's see if there's any black on here. Look at that blackness. That is dirt from Michonne's sword here. And that I cleaned several weeks ago. Now it's super clean. And you don't have to oil this if you keep it dry, but I'm going to just for the purposes of the video. Let's use some of this Hanwei spray, another brand. Makes a bit of a mess. I'm going to spray it on the blade this time. Just a couple of sprays. Find some of the clean cloth and just apply this up the blade. Down to the Kasaki. Don't worry about cutting yourself. It's a weapon. It's meant to be rugged. Just be careful. Keep it away from kids and pets if you're doing this. Everything's about awareness, isn't it? So it's a nice sword there. And now she's polished and clean and ready to hunt zombies. So this is the sword of Michonne. You can buy these online. I think this one's for sale for about, I don't know, $195 or something like that. It's a nice sword. I like it. It's very top heavy. Kind of what they call battle ready. I do like the white leather wrap. That's very different. And I love how this saya is covered with leather. This is kind of a style. Probably was designed for the show. It's got this beautiful leather strap for carrying it on your back if you're hiking. It has the wrap continue down the saya. This is all made from probably an imitation leather stitched here all the way down to the end. So it's really a rugged kind of outdoor movie prop type of sword. The sword of Michonne here. I like that one. Fits tightly, so that's nice. Let's go on to another. I'm having fun here. Let's see. This is another. This is more of a high-end sword. This is a nice katana. Has the brown Sukaito wrapping here. Black Samegawa underneath. Really nice Menuki. It has a nice Suba guard in gold and black. The saya, as you can see, has some etching on it, some design. Very, very nice sword here. Let's open this up. So I pop the scabbard. As you can see, this blade is much higher quality than the others I showed. Can you see the Hamon line? This is beautiful. Let me bring it closer. This is a beautiful, distinct Hamon line here. Beautiful blade. Look at that thing. That is a stunning example of a sword. Now, this sword was made in China. Don't let that discourage you. These guys are damn good at making swords. Even though they are replicas, these swords are beautifully made by experts, and that would easily cut through someone's arm. Beautifully polished. This is a high-end sword. This is like a $400 or more katana here. Excellent. Let's clean it. Here we go again. Let's dip in and wipe. I have no fear of this stuff damaging this blade. Again, I've never had an issue, but that's not a guarantee that something couldn't happen. So research whatever you're buying. All right, let's wipe her. I'm just starting here, not too hard, but enough. Doesn't take long for those chemicals to do their job. Look at the polish. Can you see the difference already? I can. Even through the lens, you can pick it up. So, does it have any black junk on it? Look at that. That was clean a moment ago. So it's deceiving how much dirt gets on these, even from sitting in the saya. Now that is a beautiful sword. Look at how long that kasaki is. Excellent. Ready for some oil. Which one should we put on now? Let's put on some more of this. I'm going to put it directly on the blade. Just a drop or two. And wipe it along with a thin coat. This is very relaxing. I'm not a gun person. I have several firearms because I believe that if you're a martial art teacher, you need to know modern weaponry. So I do have several firearms, and I'm not a big gun cleaning fan, but a lot of people tell me that are gun guys, and my friends tell me it's very relaxing to clean your gun. I guess it's like an old thing that's evolved in us, sitting around a campfire, cleaning our swords 600 years ago. But I'm using modern equipment to do this. Very easy, very quick. No fuss, no muss. I believe is as traditional as you can get is to adapt to what is given now. Look how beautiful that blade is. I don't know if I could show you as sword appreciating people out there. Look at how beautiful that blade is. It's like a work of art. Stunning. Look at that thing. This is a beautiful sword. Okay. Be very careful putting her back in the saya. Here. This is a beautiful sword. All right, let's do one more. Then you can go and research and get your own materials. This is a sword that is sold already, but might as well clean it. These swords often come in these little cheap sword bags. Some are better than others. This is a red katana. Red katana. Look at that thing. Nice sword here. Kind of a mid-range one. It's not cheap. Has the red wrap. This one has a square guard with some sort of, I don't know what the motif is. It looks like, could be sea creatures. I don't know what these are that are painted on there. I don't have my glasses on to see the detail. And this has a nice, what they call a teardrop saya, kind of a raindrop. It looks like there's rain on here. Can you see that? That's a nice feature. It keeps it from getting scratched up. Black saya, red sageo here. Kurigata is a nice shape. Don't know what the manuki are down here. I can't see them. And it's got a simple kashira butt cap. Well, let's open this up. So here is a kind of mid-range, sharp sword. And again, this one is sold already. Now, looking at the Hamon line on this one, you can see that it isn't kind of handmade. I mean, it might have been, but it could have been machine made. But machine made does not mean bad. It doesn't mean cheap, and it doesn't mean it won't hold its edge and do its job. It's just made quicker than a forge in Japan or China would take days or weeks to make one. Who knows how long it takes to make these, but this blade is nice. I like it. It gets the job done. Let's clean this one using more of this polish. Again, don't be afraid of being cut. I mean, that's just something people are too scared of their weapon. Although I use these all day long. We used these last night in class. Not these particular swords, but I use swords every day. Now, let's try to find, okay, here's the cloth. This purple cloth. See how clean it is? Here, let's take it and see how much dirt and grime is on this. I don't think I've cleaned this since it was shipped to me from China a few weeks ago. It's got a nice bow heel on here, nice groove. So I'm just cleaning the whole sword here from top to bottom. Okay. Here we go. All right, anything on here? Can you see it? Look at that. Look at that. The grime on there. Now, I don't know if you can see the difference. I do. I can see it. It looks better. All right, let's put some oil on this blade. Which one should we use? You want to use the traditional oil that came in the kit. All right. This is probably a little choji oil. I'm going to put it on the microfiber rag here and apply a gentle coat to this blade. Just enough to keep it from rusting. And that's all there is to it, everybody. It doesn't have to be more important or more full of rigmarole than it needs to be. It is cleaning your blades with modern things that work very well chemically, and to my knowledge, do not harm the blade. Saying that one more time, don't do this to your blade unless you've researched, gone into the comments section, read about different things that will clean your sword. There are a lot of good products out there, and a lot of HEMA guys, a lot of guys that do like the European sword work, use the same materials for their blades. I recommend a few. I don't get any money from these companies. My opinion is some traditions, like these, like the Uchiko ball, can become obsolete over time. I do not use these anymore. In my opinion, they're cool, they're knickknacks from the past, but they're not going to make your job easier. Now, having said that, I have not had the Uchiko ball ruin any of my blades, but I have seen photos of people that use these all the time where it has actually worn the polish off. It is too abrasive for the blade, they find. But my opinion is embrace the age that we live in, use the technology that's out there, research the different products and find one that's in your price budget, and have fun cleaning your sword. It's a wonderful activity to kind of de-stress and think about things and kind of add philosophy to it if you want. Maybe do it on a cold winter's night with the fire by your side and something like that. I do it because I have so many of these. I try to keep up with them so that I don't open up the Saya one day and see a huge thing of rust because I neglected it. There you are, everybody. A quick video on how to clean your swords in my particular way, my particular style. Go out and research, be skeptical of everything I've said, and have fun. We'll see you on the next video from the Dojo Martial Arts. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate your time. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.